Well guys, we are back on a very windy seaside, and I'm going to try and get some pollock and some wrasse, but the main thing is I want to get some wrasse. A few grubby things on, little grubs with twin tails with some jig heads, so let's hope we don't lose too much as the tide is extremely low. Let's get moving. Jeez. Can't even see where the weeds start. I think it's clear there by the looks of it. So I think there's a big hole here. I don't know if you can hear anything I'm saying. Big lump of plastic. Wild here. I made Johnny with me today, so it's just a bit of a scout around. It's a bit of a scout around and see we find the new place. We said we'd take a walk. I said sure, we might as well bring the rod and we'll bring you along with us. I'm hoping we can find some new wrasse spots, but it's quite rough, so I'm not very optimistic. But if the line's in the water, you're always in with a chance. That's a nice.
That's a good catch too.
So there we have it. Cast, two cast, three cast, one location, move on. First cast in the location that there was wrasse, we got one. I'm going to put this back. Let's get more. Maybe 7-8 foot deep. I'm letting it hit the bottom and then just twitch it. Try and get it to place that there's no kelp. There we go. Super strong. There we go. I think we should give the cameraman a go. He doesn't want to be in front of the video, but I'm going to make him. And then do one reel spot. And when you reel, do one reel so it goes up and then down again. And then stop and let it hit the bottom. Right, reel it, tight tension it in and just pull it out of it. There we go. And just let it sit there now. Yeah, just literally out a little bit, nothing, kind of half across, half out. There we go, perfect. And just stop it there, don't reel it all, and you'll feel it when it stops falling. And then just leave it there for a second, leave your rod down so there's less line in the wind, and reel it in so you're kind of closer, there's less slack, do you know what I mean? And then stop there, and just tap, that's it. And then one reel in, let it go on the ground. Straight. You have one? Well, they're fairly fight. Hold on a second. That's the biggest one of the day yet, Johnny. Look at the size of that fella. Big boy. Them teeth eat all the shells and stuff, so you wouldn't want to put your hand in there because they have a very strong jaw. But look at the colours. Right. I'm catching all these fish right underneath these teeth. I'm letting it hit the bottom. There we go. And just relax. Let them rest there on the bottom. And usually you get a bite within a few minutes. Be very quick with it, just go right underneath and you get what you can. Feel a little tap. Pollock? No. No? Wrasse and a pollock disguise. Look at the colour of that. Gold. We're going to move to the next spot. Johnny has to go back, he's somewhere he needs to be, and we're going to move on ourselves and hopefully see if we can find any more spots. I'm going to change to a weedless setup because the tide is so low that the jig heads they're just getting caught too much. I can't let it sink too much to the bottom, and that's fairly necessary for wrasse fishing. You will catch pollock slightly higher in the water column, but wrasse like to have it right in the bottom. So let's see what we'll put on. I'm pretty sure I know what I'd be happy with.
which is the weedless sand eel. This has caught lots of fish, and as you've seen, this one is a little bit worse for wear, but it'll be able to get in right amongst the weeds, or the weeds, not reeds, and that's it there. And it's a flat bottom on it, it'll be able to sit like that and have it right sitting up, and the hook sits in there, so you can see how it doesn't get caught near as much as the other ones. But they may be called weedless, they're not fully weedless. They're it's kind of like water resistant and waterproof. There is a difference. Both can be kind of put in similar situations, but one's not fully weedless. Our waterproof one is. Let's see what we can find. So here looks like there might be deep water. We don't really know until we're here. I'm hoping, I think I can see some sand below there. There's a jellyfish. Right, what do we have? What do we have? Right, looks like we might be a go here, guys. So when the sun was out, I was able to see there's a bit of a ridge here. So I'm going to see, can I fish right along it? I'm going to let it drop down, even though I think I might get stuck. There could be a few big ones in there. Here's the rescue helicopter. Now the rod I'm using is the 35 gram sg2 all-rounder. Honest review, not massively high quality, but you aren't paying for that either. It's extremely nice to use for the price. I have rods that are dearer, and I seem to pick up this more. So yeah, I actually really enjoy it. There's rods you can get that are maybe 200-300 euro more than them. Yes, they would be better. Do you need it? That's personal preference, you can spoil yourself, but if you want to get out and catch a few wrasse, a few pollock, that's the job. It's now 35 grams sounds quite heavy, but when you see how hard these fish pull, and maybe you're at a bit of a height up and you want to lift them fish, you are glad that extra strength. And if you don't bully a wrasse out of the hole, the second they catch, they go straight into the hole, and you won't get them out. Sometimes you just sit there for 10-15 minutes until they actually swim out themselves. So you have to have something that will be able to pull them straight up and get them out of that danger zone, and then you can kind of play with them a bit more. But that's why I went for the slightly dearer one. I was using a 20 gram rod last year, and I just kept on losing fish to the wrasse diving down the holes there. So I'll be sticking with this type of stuff more. Sea trout, you don't need to go just as heavy. You're usually fishing for them in places that aren't as snaggy, and they run more than dive to kind of dive for cover. So I'd recommend this, which is the all-rounder 35 gram. It's phenomenal. Savagegear done a good job designing up their rod collection, because the base entry is off a standard, and it's very nice. but you have to be careful with all rods that you don't break the tips off them. You can't do any of that kind of messing, because that's when you start getting in trouble with broken tips and expecting it to do more than it needs to do. Some people say, do you really need all them rods? Yes and no. So if I'm trolling on the boat, my rods are 150 grams light, or is light for what I'd be trolling. But on the sea, if you have 35 grams, 45 grams, somewhere there, and then you have 20 grams, that's a good mix. Now we're at the second little spot that I want to stop at. Hopefully get a few wrasse here. I usually do, but it's extremely low tide and the fish are acting a bit funny. So let's just see what we can find. But sorry about the quality of the sound, it's just blowing a gale here. But look at, we'll move on with the weedless, the 35 gram savagegear all-rounder SG2. Quite weedy, so I'm going to stick with this and let's see what we can catch. So guys, that's that for another day. We'll be back out here again fairly soon, because when the weather dies down a bit, I think we're in for a good bit of wrasse, good bit of fun. And as always guys, feel free to ask me any questions, what I use, why I use, and we'll see you again soon.